It is no secret to longtime fans of the channel that trading card games have been a big influence in my life, both on and off the channel. In this series, both DemonBattler and myself will be opening 24 packs, or one box, of each core Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set in chronological order. After each opening, we will build decks from all of the cards we have opened thus far, then duel each other in a best-of-3 match with 3 prizes up for grabs to improve our decks. The winner will receive 2 of those prizes, and the loser will get 1. The possibilities for prizes are almost limitless, including single cards, sealed product, structure decks, and much more. Every card in the entire game's history will be obtainable in some form. However, neither of us will be able to rest on past laurels easily. The ever-changing official Forbidden and Limited list, our own choices of cards to be banished to the Shadow Realm, and even changes to the very rules of the game will keep our decks and duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Strike of Neos was released February 28, 2007. This set reintroduced secret rares to the booster pack mapping, as now, in addition to the standard 60 card sets that we've come to know from the GX set, there are now 8 secret rares that show up at a rate of 1 per box. This set introduces the 6 Samurai archetype, a warrior-focused archetype covering all 6 attributes that focuses on swarming the field. This also introduces new Neo-Spatians, as well as support for the Dark World and Alien archetypes. So I will take you through the cards. The common 6 Samurai, these are the building blocks of your 6 Samurai decks. You're going to want to include at least one of each of these in your 6 Samurai decks. These are all fantastic and will be played in that archetype. We also have some Dark World support at common in the form of Gren and Kaki, which let you destroy monsters face up, face down, or spell traps. Another big common that we're going to be looking for in the set is Advanced Ritual Art. This is probably the most powerful, at least generically speaking, the most powerful common we have in the set. So this lets you ritual summon from deck using normal monsters. So there is a package that we could put into a deck and even build a deck all on its own that's ritual focused. This is the card I've been waiting for to play my cards such as a Shinado, King of a Higher Plane. I have a lot of really strong ritual 8s that I want to play with, and depending on if we can get some of the other normal monster support that's in the set, I might end up building something around it. Shien's Castle of Mist is the 6 Samurai field spell. It's not great. It just makes it so that your 6 Samurais are a little bit harder to beat over. Return of the 6 Samurai is Monster Reborn for the archetype. It is spell speed 2, so it can be used as a battle trick. It's not great right now until we get extra deck plays, but 6 Samurai will be getting a ton of support later, including a very powerful tuner that's going to sweep the deck all the way up to tier 1 status. And that's it for the commons. At the rares, we have 2 really big normal monsters. We have Frostosaurus, which is a 2600 1 tribute, the largest 1 tribute we've had so far. Unfortunately, this isn't a level 5, otherwise I would consider bringing back the Legendary Ocean deck for this episode. A Spiral Serpent is the 2nd largest normal monster in the game, currently at 2900 attack, with a much more relevant attribute. And Trollnull. So Neo-Spatian Grandmole is the only Neo-Spatian that saw immediate play upon its release. This card is incredibly annoying to deal with because if you are ahead, this is such a powerful tempo tool that you'll never give up the lead. So what this does is, if it battles an opponent's monster at the start of damage step, you get to return both Grandmole and the monster it battles to the hand. This works whether it's attacked or whether you're attacking with it. This is an incredibly annoying card to deal with, and I imagine one of us is probably going to ban it at some point. DD Crow is a very important card going forward. This is our first generically playable hand trap. As a quick effect, you can discard it to target a card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. This still sees play in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! and it's going to be very important in our series in particular because this is another out to Dark World. It's got chaos synergies. I think we're going to wind up putting this somewhere in our 55 cards. Ancient Rules is more normal monster support. This lets you special summon a level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand, such as a Blue Eyes White Dragon. We may use this in some sort of high power deck. Twister is very important as well. This pays 500 life points to destroy a face-up spell trap. This is very good for dealing with floodgates, and it's a low rarity card. We've really been hurting for backer removal, and this is going to go in both our side decks if we pull it. The Transmigration Prophecy is a piece of graveyard hate. This does get limited eventually. The reason why this gets limited specifically is because you can loop 2 of these together to prevent yourself from decking out. And then lastly at the rare slot we have Pulling the Rug. So what Pulling the Rug does is whenever your opponent normal summons a monster and its effect activates upon normal summon, you negate the summon and destroy the monster. So this card saw all kinds of play in the format when it was released, and it single-handedly dropped Monarch down from Tier 1 status. At the super rare slot, we have some pretty impactful cards. Gene Warped Warwolf is the first 2k normal summon in the game. Now these are printed at common. You'll get a lot of 2k monsters with little defense, but this was the first one, and it certainly changed the calculus for what is considered a good normal summon. A Neospatian Air Hummingbird. This is a card that has gotten quite expensive because Konami refuses to reprint it along with Air Neos for some reason. But that's a whole nother can of worms. This is very useful against burn decks because this lets you gain 500 life points for every card in your opponent's hand. This can add up quite quickly. We have Great Shogun Shien, which is the 6 Samurai payoff. This is an incredibly scary card. This is a free 2500 if you have 2 or more 6 Samurai monsters. The summon of this is not once per turn, and this prevents your opponent from activating more than 1 spell trap in a turn. And like all the other 6 Samurais, you can destroy any face-up monster instead of a 6 Samurai that would be destroyed. So it has semi-protection from removal as long as you have Sams, which is not difficult to do because the entire archetype is based around swarming. If you get this, you probably have to play 6 Sam. Dark World Dealings is a fantastic piece of support for Dark Worlds. This lets both players draw a card, then discard a card. So it's a discard outlet that filters through your deck. It is a -1 though. A Card Trader I don't think is worth the slot unless you're playing a combo deck specifically. This lets you effectively cycle a card in your hand for another card once per turn during your standby phase. I'm not a big fan of this card, but in combo decks specifically, it can be quite good if you're looking to dig for a specific card. And then Skyscraper 2 Hero City is the first field spell that only affects the player who played it. And this is going to be a recurring theme going forward with field spells, and that will promptly cause a rules change where 2 players can have their own field spells on the same field, but that's not until, I want to say, Master Rule 3. And then Birthright is a noteworthy super rare as well. This is Call of the Haunted for normal monsters. If we get one of these, we do need to consider playing some kind of big beatdown, such as, say, a Blue Eyes deck. And then our 4 Ultras. Our 4 Ultras are not great. They are Rainbow, which is the only one that's super playable. What this does is, if it's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you get to special summon it, and then when it's special summoned that way, you either get to Raigeki or Harpy's Feather Duster your opponent. Note that this has to be discarded by your opponent's card effect, but I still think if you get this, you play it in your Dark World package. And now we have the secret rares to talk about. There are 9 of them, and this is only 1 per box. So these we will most likely not see. Most of these are fairy support, being OCG imports, and these are almost all just constructed cards, so we won't really talk about too many of them. The one that we're really hoping to get is Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai. This card was incredibly expensive when it was first printed. It's a free special summon that all you have to do is control a 6 Samurai, and then if it gets destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you get to buy back a 6 Samurai from your graveyard. It's effectively Cyber Dragon for the archetype. But that's not the only set that was released during this time. Holiday 2006 into Winter 07 was an extremely busy release year for Yu-Gi-Oh! We have not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 non-core products that were released during this time. Dark Revelation Volume 3 was released on November 25th of 2006. This is a reprint set containing all the cards from the first 4 small sets in Yu-Gi-Oh's history: Soul of the Duelist, Rise of Destiny, Flaming Eternity, and The Lost Millennium. Every card is at its original rarity. There are very few commons that I want out of here, so I don't think I'm going to be opening this set. This is one of our last chances for a while to get Threatening Roar, and there are some holos I would be looking for, but given that there are 28 super rares in this set, it's very unlikely to get a holo that you would actually want. So I won't be talking about this too much. And now we have a very special set to discuss. There was a second set of McDonald's promos that was released around this time, come December 26th of 2006. Now, we won't be treating this like a normal set. For this duel, we will be having a split of this product. There will be 15 packs dispersed in total, 10 to the winner and 5 to the loser of this duel. While there aren't very many impactful cards, there are 3 interesting cards at rare. One of them is a Whitehorn Dragon, which lets you banish 5 spell cards in your opponent's graveyard, and then it gains 300 attack permanently for each card banished by the effect. So it can be a very large tribute summon, provided that it's not too early in the game. The other cards that are relevant are Elemental Hero Electrum. This is the big one we'll be chasing because this is a fantastic Future Fusion target in that it's effectively painful choice for elemental heroes. It lets you just dump 4 monsters in your graveyard with Future Fusion, but that's really all you'll be using it for. This does have an interesting combo deck later on, but I don't think we're going to be able to play it because it requires 3 copies of Elemental Hero The Shining, as well as a copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. It's a very cool combo deck, but I don't think we're going to be able to play it just because of how many high rarity pieces it requires. But interestingly enough, Mudball Man is in this set as well. It has no effect other than having restrictions on its summoning. It is a 3k defender though, so if I do pick up one of these, I'll probably throw it in the extra deck, just because 3k defense is a lot to get over, but it's not great. Most of the time I would rather just make Rampart Blaster, but if we do need a big body, that is an option. There's also at the common slot Aqua Dragon, which is the largest 6-star fusion monster that we have off of Magical Scientist at 2250 attack. However, because I don't have a Catapult Turtle, I cannot splash that into a deck, sadly. But we do have the tournament pack to talk about as well, which is Champion Pack 2, coming to local game stores on February 6th, 2007. While not as crazy as Champion Pack 1, this does have some pretty big hits. Ceasefire at common is really big, especially once this card gets unlimited later. It's effectively another copy of Just Desserts, although I believe this card is limited right now. And if I can get this, I might play some kind of burn strategy. We have Terraforming as a reprint, although I believe both of us have this card. A Big Bang Shot is a little outdated, but we could bring the equip deck back if we get it. The big prizes are at the rare slot, though. This is Magical Dimension, which is Spellcaster support, and you might recall I have a Dark Magician deck. So this would be a fantastic support card for that. We're just missing a few things to make that Dark Magician deck work, but I think we'll get all the things we need for it around 5Ds. Morphing Jar is probably the biggest card. A Ring of Destruction is worthless to us because we already have our copies of this card and it is limited for us since it's currently forbidden on the most recent list, I believe. It's either forbidden or limited, so we won't be able to use additional copies. Another Abyss Soldier would be really cool, and we could make use of this and put that water deck back together. But the big payoffs are going to be Morphing Jar and Magical Dimension for sure out of this pack. The super rares, they're really cool upgrades, and they're some of the most expensive versions of those cards. But we already have 3 copies, or the max number of copies legal of all these cards except Pyramid Turtle. And the ultra rare is Magical Stone Excavation, which is only really useful in combo decks. This lets you discard any 2 cards to buy back a spell card. And we have 2 more releases. We have 2 new Duelist Packs. They are Duelist Pack Jade and Yuki 2 and Duelist Pack Aster Phoenix, both released on February 7th of 2007. I'm not really inclined to take any of these packs just because all of the really good cards are at Ultra Rare. All 4 of the Ultra Rares in these packs are quite good, but because they're Ultras, we're pretty unlikely to pull them. If I were to open either of these packs, it would probably be Jade and Yuki 2, because we are missing a copy of E Emergency Call. I do have a Reinforcement of the Army, so that serves as a third one, but having that extra layer of consistency and deck thinning is good for the hero deck. And most of the rest of these cards just aren't great. We do have all three of the original Neospatians. Aqua Dolphin would be cool for later, but the rest of these cards, other than Blade Edge, we already have. Now, the Ultra Rares are Card Trooper and Burial from a Different Dimension, both of which are pretty powerful. Burial from a Different Dimension lets you take 3 banished cards and return them to graveyards, so you can use this to potentially recycle graveyard resources. And then Card Trooper is a card that, it's okay as a one-of, but it's something that you really want multiples of. If anybody remembers Troop Dupe Scoop, this was one of the first really explosive machine duplication targets. Unfortunately, we are extremely unlikely to be able to play this deck in any kind of fashion just because our access to Card Trooper is going to be extremely limited. And then we also have Duelist Pack Aster Phoenix released alongside it. This is the Destiny Hero pack. The Ultras are Malicious and Destiny Draw. Malicious, you absolutely have to have 2 of to be able to play it, because there's no payoff for just having 1, and this card will get semi-limited pretty quickly, where it remains to this day. And then Destiny Draw is a staple of Destiny Hero decks that still sees play today. You just pitch a Destiny Hero and draw 2 cards. Now, at the lower rarities, Diamond Dude is cool, Dasher is cool, but I don't really think anything else in here is either good or we already have it. At the rare slot, we have Defender and some of the boss monsters. I'm not really interested in Phoenix Enforcer because I have a Flame Wingman already. Clock Tower Prison is okay, but we're also getting to the point where we have Twister in the format. And then there's Shining Phoenix Enforcer at Super Rare, and the rest of these are pretty bad. Alright, so 24 packs of Strike of Neos coming right up. This is one of the higher powered sets that we've had. I'm pretty excited to see what we will get. Lots of cards that will see lots of play immediately, and then lots of cards that will see play later on. So let's go ahead and get into our first booster pack. We got a super rare right away, Skyscraper 2 Hero City, which is an interesting piece of support for the Elemental Hero archetype. Might have to see what we can work with it. We did get an Ancient Rules at the rare slot, which is something that we're looking for multiple copies of. And we did get some of the 6 Sams as well. Whoa! There's an ultimate rare Dark World Dealings. I don't think we're going to be playing this, but it is pretty cool to have. I just don't want to run into a Dark World mirror, because we both have pretty decent Dark World packages. I would just need to pick up more of the rares, which they're still on the wheel, so if we do go to a wild card, which is something I've been considering, we may be able to pick up some of the cards for that, but it's not a very fun card to play, and you, at least in a mirror match, and usually get sided out. And there's the Grand Bull. That's one of the cards that I was really looking for. I believe this card does get limited eventually, so picking up additional copies is not a big deal, but we did get the 1. That's already 3 copies of Return of the Six Samurai in 3 packs, which is pretty impressive. Oh, we got Shien and another Grand Bull. We might have to play Sam. Holy poo-poo, we got Shien. We have Reinforcement of the Army, too, which can search all of them. Yeah! We'll have to see where this box goes, but I am pretty inclined to play Sam now, not gonna lie. And that's a Card Trader, which is an interesting card. I don't think it's necessarily good, but it's interesting, and that's 3 copies of Grand Bull. So now that we have the Shien, we're going to really start looking for the 6 Samurai cards. We should get playsets of each, but it is 6 commons, and it's really important for us to have a playset of especially the good ones, preferably all of them, because we don't have a lot of monsters other than them that we can play in the archetype. And there is an ultimate rare Elemental Hero Grand Neos. We won't be making this, but it is cool to have. And we did also get a copy of Twister. That's more important. then the rest of these, we got a couple of the 6 Samurai, but we really need to see playsets of these, just all of them. We won't play these in the next version of 6 Samurai, but we need them for now if we want to play that Shien. And there's our first DD Crow. This is another card I was looking out for. I would like to preferably see 2 to 3 of these, just because they're graveyard hate that you can play before your first turn. And we did get another copy of Iroh, which makes our 3rd, and another copy of Zanji, which is one of the ones that's really important to have 3 copies of. Pretty happy with the DD Crow. And there's an ultimate rare elemental hero, Air Neos, which is one of the more valuable GX ultimate rares just because Konami refuses to reprint this card for some reason. That would be sick to open in real life, but that is not the case. We did pick up our 3rd Zanji, missing a lot of the other 6 Sams though. Starting to get scared that we might not be able to play this deck because you need 2 to 3 copies of every 6 Sam to be able to play it. We did also pick up our first copy of Transmigration Prophecy, which effectively is double Disappear. That will be something to consider as an upgrade, but as an upgrade to Disappear in our side deck, but I would really prefer just to play DD Crow. Another Transmigration Prophecy, Iroh we're unfortunately full up on. There's Frostosaurus as our rare. We got a Yaichi, which is really important. We are missing a Nisashi, and that's also, I believe, yes, that is our first copy of Advanced Ritual Art, and we're halfway through this box. I'm getting nervous about that card, too. There's so many good commons in this set. And we got an ultimate rare DD Crow. That's pretty crazy as well. But we will take a second copy of DD Crow. That's a gorgeous ultimate rare, too. So we have our 2 DD Crow, and we got another ARA. Bit nervous about these Sams, though. Zanji is one we already have. We currently have 1 Yarizo, 2 Yaichi, and 0 Nisashi. We just need them for the names at this point. There's another Twister, but that's about it. And there's a 3rd DD Crow. Getting nervous about these Sams, but we did fill our playset of ARA. So the Ritual deck is on the table. 3 DD Crow is going to be super nice against the graveyard decks. That's probably going to stay on our side deck for the foreseeable future. And there's an ultimate rare card trader, so we have 2 of those now. A lot of ultis in this box. I would be super stoked to pull this many ultis. We did get our first copy of Nisashi, so we at least have 1 of those. So far, this has been a pretty good opening. I would like to see 1 more bomb, but even if we don't get another bomb, I would still say this opening has been substantially above average. And there's another Grand Mole, that's our 4th, and another Grand Neos. I believe that's our 2nd Elemental Hero Grand Neos in this box. So I think we pulled 3 Ultras. We got another Nisashi, that's good to get that. So we only need 5 more 6 Sams to be able to fill out our playsets. I'd really like to see another Yaichi, that one is super important. And there's another super rare. That's a Gene Warp Warwolf, and we got our 3rd Yaichi. That's really important. If we can get 1 more Nisashi, we'll be in pretty good shape, but it's not really important. Gene Warp Warwolf is pretty good, though. That's a 2K beater. There's a normal monster deck out there that I've played in the past, and I might play it again. And there's another Elemental Hero, Air Neos. That is 4 Ultras in this box. And none of them have been Rainbow. We're starting to run out of packs, too, and there's a couple of cards that I'm concerned about. And there's a 3rd card trader. Well, I guess we'll have some level of consistency when we go to play a combo deck, but I don't think card trader is worth the initial -1. We did get another Yariza, but we would really like some more of the 6 Sams we're missing. So we're missing 1 Nisashi and 1 Yariza to have a playset of everything. So only 3 packs left. This opening has been substantially above average, but there are a couple of cards that I'm very concerned about not having. One of them is Pulling the Rug. We have not seen a Pulling the Rug the entire time. We're still missing a couple of the Sams, so we'll see what we can get out of our last 3 packs. We got a 2nd Ultimate Rare Elemental Hero Air Neos. Just what? There really just aren't words for that other than what. So then we will move on to our 2nd to last pack. And there's pulling the rug. I don't know how good that is as a one-of. We did get our third Yariza, so if we can snipe a Nisashi out of this last pack, that would be ideal. But we do have the materials to be able to play this 6 Samurai deck now. I wouldn't mind some other bomb either, but I'm pretty happy with this opening. So let's go ahead and see what we get out of our very last pack. And we got another Elemental Hero Fusion. We got a Glow Neos. So that is 6 fusions. That's absolutely unreal. But we got a lot of other good cards. We got so many holos out of this box. I think I'm gonna be playing Sam's. I'll just need to review my card pool to see if there's any other cool deck I can play. But given that we opened a Shien and everything, plus we have all the warrior support from previous sets, I think we're just going to wind up building some kind of 6 Samurai list. See you in deck edit. So I know I just said that I was probably committed to making 6 Sam in the opening because of the Shien and the other things that I got, but I got to thinking about it, and one advantage that I have is that I've done Progression Series with Demon before offline, and I have played other Yu-Gi-Oh! Games with him as well, and his favorite archetype is 6 Samurai. So if he pulls a Great Shogun Shien, or a Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai, or, heaven forbid, multiples, he is going to want to play 6 Samurai. And his main deck in 5Ds, and even now, is 6 Samurai. So he knows the mirror match inside and out. I've decided that even if my warrior pool is better than his, because I have a bunch of generic warrior support as well that plays really well with the swarming that 6 Sams can do, I'm just not going to want to play a mirror match against him. And this is the one time I'll be able to play Chainburn without Secret Barrel in Progression Series, so I'm going to go for it. Here is the list that we will be taking to today's duel. This has some pretty suspect cards in it, but I'll try to go over the card by card and give you an idea. I am playing the one of Cyberjar, both as a board wipe and to be able to try to refill on the hand. The reason why I'm playing this specifically, even though I have a low monster count, is because with all the fogs, I could even flip this up during main phase, and then get 5 more cards to be able to go into chaining plays. It is a little bit risky because it does give demon cards too, but I think this is worth it to be able to refill. 2 Desk Koala for some burn damage, and it's got a sizable butt. 3 copies of the Pure Advantage Camel Des Laputa. We have not seen this card since Pharaonic Guardian, and I think we have enough fogs now that we should be able to pretty reliably protect this and start drawing 2 cards a turn. 1 Fiber Jar, newly picked up from Dark Beginning 2, and I cannot wait for Demon's reaction when he finds out that we pulled this card. This is an incredibly annoying card. But what this does, if you've never seen it before, is on flip, it completely resets the game other than life points. Any cards that are in the graveyard, hand, or field gets shuffled back into the deck, and then both players draw 5 cards. So this is effectively another negator for battle, so it's another quote-unquote fog from Magic the Gathering, which is an effect that prevents all damage that creatures would deal. It serves a similar purpose here, along with some trap cards we'll get into. 1 Sandgin, specifically in here to search for Fiber Jar. We have 3 Stealth Bird, which will be our primary win condition, and then 1 Witch of the Black Forest rounding out our monsters. For the spells, we just have a few. We have 3 copies of Chain Strike. This is going to be one of our big win conditions as well. If we can get this up to a Chain Link 4, that's 1600 damage for 1 card, which is pretty strong. And then 2 copies of Meteor of Destruction. This should be Tremendous Fire, but we only have 1 Tremendous Fire, and that was the one that we just pulled. 2 Poison of the Old Man. I would play 3, but we are missing a 3rd, and then 1 Pot of Greed and 1 Tremendous Fire, rounding out the spells. For the traps, we have 2 Accumulated Fortune. The only reason I'm playing 2 is because we can't reliably get to Chain Link 4 to be able to draw this, and this is an awful top deck. We have plenty of ways to refill, so I think 3 Accumulated Fortune is a little bit bricky. 2 Chain Detonation is mostly to be able to give us repeated access to large chains. I don't think this card is amazing, but it is needed in here to be able to reliably get to the high chains needed to make Chain Strike work. Then 2 Frozen Soul. This is the worst fog in the deck. This is a threatening roar that can only be activated if you have at least 2,000 fewer life points than your opponent. Then 2 Just Desserts is another burn card, 2 Reckless Greed, newly semi-limited on the most recent Forbidden and Limited list, 1 Ring of Destruction because it's a big burn effect, 2 Threatening Roar, we only have 2 unfortunately, and it will be pretty difficult to get a third one for the time being, 3 Thunder of Ruler, 2 Waboku, and 1 Wall of Revealing Light rounding out the main deck. For the side deck, I want to go into a more traditional control deck depending on the matchup, and a lot of these cards are tailored for the specific matchups that I'll go over. We have 3 DD Crow specifically for the Dark World deck. We have Level Limit Area B and Gravity Bind and Solemn Judgment that we're going to be bringing in most games. It really just depends on what matchup we're on. For the monster-focused decks, the beatdown decks, we're going to bring in the Attack Floodgates and the Mirror Force as well. Smashing Ground is being brought in specifically against monsters such as Death's Wombat, as well as the Elemental Heroes, because some of these big Elemental Hero monsters we really need to out before they wreak havoc on our board. So we have 2 copies of Twister to be able to take care of certain annoying continuous cards that are a big detriment to this deck. We have Black Horn of Heaven, which is also for the hero match. This will negate special summons. And then we have 1 Solemn Judgment as another card that's a generic negate. And then we have all of the Elemental Hero Neos fusions that we pulled in here to be able to show Demon the wrong end of Ultra Rare Luck in the GX era. But I'm pretty excited to see what Demon thinks of this deck. He's probably not going to like it too much, but that's his problem if he doesn't have a side deck planned for the burn matchup. So let's go ahead and get things kicked off. It is time to get your game on! So I want to say this is probably the highest power set we've had since Cybernetic Revolution.
Yeah, this is definitely... I want to say this is probably the best set since then, just because, if nothing else, we have options, and viable options at that.
And I'm sure there's an archetype that you were probably foaming over in pack opening.
Oh, whatever would you mean? Alright, let's see what we hit. Ooh, okay.
There, damn. Finally, I want to roll. Very important. I will take the play. Good luck, Duelist.
Good luck.
Alright, draw for turn. Standby main.
Well, I can safely say right off the bat, it feels a lot smoother on this new computer, so that's nice.
I am going to set a pair and pass.
Alright, so draw, standby, main. I guess we'll just start by running out a Gene-Warped Warwolf.
Ah, so you did get one. That card is pretty good. It
is pretty good. Like, I mean, it's not the best, but hey, 2K on a 4-star with no drawback is pretty damn important here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Speaking of 2K, how about you take 2 stacks?
Ooh, that's koala.
That's a little blast from the past.
That is. Okay. I think I'll go ahead and set a couple of cards then. Play around the Imperm column.
What Imperm column? Draw for turn. Standby main.
That joke never gets old.
This is going to give away what I'm going to do. And what I'm doing today. I'm going to activate Meteor of Destruction.
Oh, God. Okay.
Take 1,000. Then I am going to set a pair and pass the turn.
I swear to God, if you're on...
Thunder during your standby.
Oh my God, you're on fucking chain burn. Okay.
You weren't expecting this? It was going to get limited. Like, Chain Strike gets limited after this set. So this exact format that we are playing, this was around for exactly 1 day. The release day of Strike of Neos. Because as soon as Strike of Neos dropped, there was a new FNL update the very next day.
Wait, really? I thought the next update was in March.
Yes, Strike of Neos was released in February 28th.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was the very end of February. I misread that date.
Yeah,
Oops.
it was the very next day.
Okay. Geez, what do I do here? Is there anything I can do is the real question.
So just be happy that with your removal of Secret Barrel from the format and Chain Strike going to 1 after this duel, this deck is very much unplayable afterward.
Right. Well, I guess I'll just run out a second copy of Warwolf.
2! Wow!
And I'll pass.
Alright, draw for turn. Stand by main. I'm going to go ahead and flip Cyberjar.
Oh, God. Okay. That bites, but...
Not bad. You got 3 Warwolves? Holy poo-poo.
Yep.
Wow.
So
that's really good.
Okay, so let's see. Threatening, Chain Deton, Thunder of Ruler, Stealth, Bird, and Reckless Greed.
Don't mind me, I'll just put all this stuff in my hand.
Alright, well, I guess I will set that my Moth, and I'll summon out my Beige and Warwolf.
Sure. Well, before this Dark Deal becomes live, I'm actually going to go ahead and fire off this Tremendous Fire.
Yuck. Okay.
That I pulled out of Dark Beginning 2. I did not get a single copy of this card out of Metal Raiders.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a rare?
It's a common!
Oh, shit. Okay, that's even worse than I thought.
Alright, then I am going to... set 4 and pass.
Ugh, God.
Go.
Alright, draw. Standby. I'm assuming you've got something.
Nothing in standby.
Alright, main. Alright, well, let's see what you've got going. Let's see what else you've got in your hand.
Sure. Do you want the Stealth Bird or do you want the Fog?
Let's go with the Stealth Bird.
Sure. I will put this away.
I mean, granted, I can just take I could take the other two.
Yeah, you're just gonna get the other card out. That's fine. Sure. That's Thunder of Ruler, since you know it's in my hand.
Alright. So, question I have now... Well, it doesn't actually help me if I do that. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to activate Heavy Storm.
I am going to just chain my entire back row. We're gonna start with a Ring of Destruction targeting your Gene Warp Warwolf. Do you have a response?
I do not.
I'm going to chain Reckless Greed. Do you have a response?
I do not.
I'm going to chain Accumulated Fortune. Do you have a response?
I do not.
I'm going to chain Detonation. Do you have a response?
I do not.
I'm going to chain Threatening Roar. Do you have a response?
I do not.
Okay, so chain resolves. Chain Link 6, Threatening Roar. Chain Link 5 is Chain Detonation, so you'll take 500 and I'll put this in my hand. Then this will resolve.
So you draw 2.
So I draw 2. Then Reckless Greed resolves. I will draw 2. Then the Ring resolves. Your Gene Warp Warwolf will be destroyed. We'll each take 2,000. And then Heavy Storm resolves. Nice sack!
Oh, man. Okay, God, this is miserable.
Which is why I'm only gonna be playing this deck once.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna sack my Moth for my gold.
Sure, you have gold.
I have a sneaking suspicion that's going to be another... Well, no, I know that's Stealth Bird.
Yeah, you know that's Stealth Bird.
What am I doing? Alright, let's eat the bird. Oh, wait, I can't.
You cannot attack.
Oh, right, I can't. God damn it.
Yeah, you cannot attack.
Alright, I'll pass.
Draw for... I don't get to draw, so stand by main. I am going to go ahead and flip up the bird.
Alright, so that's 1,000 I take.
Set it. Then I'm going to set a monster and then set 3. Then I will pass the turn.
And Chain Detonation?
I have Thunder of Ruler in standby. I also have Chain Detonation, yes.
Yep, okay. That did not work out as I thought.
I was wondering if one of us were going to play this deck, and apparently one person had the idea to play this even with Secret Barrel banned. At least we didn't play a mirror match.
Yeah, that would have been even more... Honestly, that would have been some serious head games, too, because then it's a case of, does he have Reckless to chain to my Reckless and fuck up the chain?
Or just duplicates of anything, but game 2.
Yeah, game 2. Alright, so let's see. Standby main. I'm going to start by setting a monster and passing.
Draw for turn, a standby main, and I'm sure this doesn't help you either.
I'm not surprised. Go ahead.
I'll draw a couple. Then I am going to... I'm just going to set 5.
Okay.
Go!
Draw.
I'm not playing Eldritch, I swear.
God, I hate to do this, but I feel like I kind of have to at this point. Alright, let's force it out. Let's Heavy Storm.
Well, this isn't ideal. We'll go Chainlink 2, Just Desserts. Sure you don't have anything for this, but I have to ask.
No response.
Chainlink 3, Reckless Greed.
Alright,
Chainlink
no response.
4, Accumulated Fortune.
No response.
Chainlink 5, a 2k Chain Strike.
No response.
So you're going to take a total of... I have no further response. This will resolve. So you're going to take a total of 2,500, and I'm going to draw 4.
Alright.
And my other set was Ring.
Okay.
So no Fog, at least.
I'm going to flip my Sangin.
Sure.
And I'm going to run out my Neospatian Grand Mole.
Ah, so you do have the Troll Mole.
And we'll hit for 19.
I'll take it all.
Main phase 2, I will set a card, and I will pass.
Draw for turn.
No, you cannot actually.
Oh, right. I forgot to turn off auto draw. Hang on. Let me turn this back.
That's like the one big downside to playing Reckless Greed is that it makes us have to remember to change something that we never have to do.
To turn off auto draw, yeah. Anyway, standby main, and I did make sure to turn it off this time. I am gonna set 2, and I will pass.
Alright. Draw.
Thunder of Ruler during standby.
Okay. Main phase. Oh god, do I really want to do this? Well, you are stuck without another draw for a turn. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I think the 1,000 life points will be worth it. I'm gonna activate Confiscation.
Well, you're not gonna like my hand too much.
Let's see. Oh my good goddamn.
Nice Dark Worlds.
Oh, fuck. Let's clear out the Waboku.
Yup, that's fine.
That's a problem.
So, we're
That's
2000...
actually a real problem.
Hand traps in 2007.
Alright, I'm gonna stack my Sangin for a gold.
Gold is fine.
Get my Sangin off.
Okay, you can search with Sangin.
Question is, what do I really want to get with it? The worst part is knowing you have 2 DD Crow, so that just makes it so much worse. I think I'm gonna add Exile Force to my hand.
That makes sense.
Just on the off chance I need it for something. Alright. Battle, I will...
You will not be going to the battle phase, sir.
Oh, right. God, I keep forgetting that damn card. Okay,
Alright,
your turn.
Second turn on Reckless. Standby main. I have a camel.
So you have... Oh, for Christ's sake! Okay. Fucking noobs.
I'll set one and pass.
Okay, so you had 2 DD Crow. Crap. It was 2 DD Crow.
The other card in my hand is... So I had in my hand it was Waboku double DD Crow Sangin. So the card that I have set is unknown.
Right. Okay.
But you are about to find out what it is.
Oh god.
Yeah, I peeled a Fog.
Of course you did.
Grand Mole is a problem though.
Well, God, I hate to do this. I hate to do this on a goddamn camel of all things, but let's Exile Force it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I don't have much of a choice.
Otherwise, I'm gonna start drawing 2 a turn, and it's gonna get ugly. Draw for turn.
That's already ugly enough as it is.
Stand by.
The only good thing is knowing that the only thing you have in your hand right now that I could potentially worry about is going to be Sangin, and even then, that's not as bad.
What's the downside here? I gotta do some math. 32... God, there's so many things. That mole is a problem. Why is Grand Mole so good? Alright, I think this is my best bet. I'm gonna run out Sangan.
Alright.
I'm gonna go to battle.
Alright.
I'm gonna hit into your gold.
Oh, okay.
I'll take 13, because I'm never gonna be able to proc this because of Grand Mole. So
True.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab myself a Cyber Jar and just ship the turn and hope I don't die.
Alright. Draw. Standby main.
But I think just about any normal summon gets there. Well, not any, but
well,
you need 1600.
I have a Warwolf.
Yep.
Alright. I'm actually surprised I got out of that one.
Well, you got out of one game.
Yep.
I'm very surprised that this set of all things is going to a decider.
This was yeah, this was absolutely not what I was expecting for this match, but...
Oh, off the top.
Oh, goddamn. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Off the top. Alright, let's go ahead and set a monster, and then... set 4. Pass.
Good God. Alright, I draw, standby phase, anything?
Nothing in standby.
Alright, main phase. God, I'm almost terrified. Okay, I'll start by activating terraforming.
Sure.
Let's get ourselves a Mystic Plasma Zone.
Yeah, that makes things large.
I'll activate Mystic Plasma Zone.
Sure, you got it.
I'll activate Card of Safe Return.
Yup.
And I will activate Graceful Charity, which I picked off the top.
Yeah, that seems good.
Draw 3, and I get to discard 2. If you've got crows, you've got crows, but I'm going to discard 2 copies of beige.
Okay, so those will go on chain. Then chain link 3, I'm going to crow one of them.
All right.
Chain link 4, I'm going to activate chain detonation.
Okay.
I have no further effects.
All right, so I take 500 points.
This will go back to my hand.
I lose 1 beige.
The other will get summoned. And then that new chain, Card of Safe Return, you'll get to draw a card.
Yep. Oh, of course I draw that. God, the question is now, what the hell is that other card going to be? Let's be a little safer with this. I'm going to run out a DD Warrior Lady.
You got it.
Enter battle phase.
That's frustrating. Sure.
All right. Warrior Lady into your defense.
I'm going to Waboku.
Okay.
I'm going to make you banish this.
Yeah. The nice thing too is the fact that Mystic Plasma Zone actually kept me safe on that one.
That's why I Waboku'd.
Alright, main phase 2. I think I'll just let it go.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I am going to set 2 and pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Standby.
Nothing in standby.
Main phase. I'm going to run out a Gene Warped Warwolf.
Thankfully, it does not get pumped by Mystic Plasma Zone.
Enter battle. Warwolf in for 2.
I'll take it all.
Alright. Main 2, I will set a card, and I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I am going to set a monster, and I will pass.
Alright. Draw.
Thunder and standby.
Okay. Main 1, I will set 1 card. I'm going to send Plasma Zone to the graveyard to activate another.
Interesting. Oh, right. You're trying to get cards out of your hand for Koala. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Draw for turn, standby main. I do have the jar.
Alright.
Unfortunately, I have to set the crow. I don't get to keep that in my hand.
Let's see.
But these are pretty good cards.
Koala, Crow, Frozen Soul, Accumulated Chain Detonation.
That's not bad.
Right.
So Book, Confi, Lightning, Brawn, and Beige, huh? Sure.
Alright. I will special summon them both in attack.
You know what I should do? I should actually, like...
I was gonna say, if you want to shuffle them, you can.
Sure, let me do that real quick. And then I'll put these cards in my hand.
The tough part... The thing is, I have a way to remove that damn koala. The problem I have is now I don't know which one it's going to be.
Yep. Boop, 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 boop. Figuring out what I want to do here. Problem is my zones are a little clogged right now. I think we do this. Set to and pass.
Alright. Draw. Standby.
During standby, I am gonna play a bunch of stuff. Thunder of Ruler. Anything?
Alright. Nope.
Chain detonation.
Alright, no response.
I will chain Reckless.
Alright, no response.
Accumulated Fortune.
No response.
And Chain Strike for 2,000. So you'll take
Okay,
2,500, I'll draw 4.
Alright.
And then there's no battle phase. And then I will turn auto draw off. Now you can proceed.
Okay.
Well, you'll get a 7-card hand for Confi if you want to pay 1,000 for it. Although that's kind of risky, but
It's a bit risky, but at the same time, I have to try for
you're
it.
not gonna like my hand.
Ooh, goodness. Well, the good thing is the Frozen Souls actually are kind of dead right now because your life points are only 100 lower than mine.
They are, but
So that's a positive. So that means if I could get through, I can push for game.
you also don't have a battle phase.
True. I feel like I have to go for the Lakuta. I have to keep you from drawing cards while you can, and that's the only way you could draw cards during these next 2 turns anyway.
That makes sense.
Then I'm going to...
Also, this Chain Detonation should not be in my graveyard. This was activated as Chain Link 3, so this should be in my deck.
Right. Okay. Alright, I'm going to activate Dark World Lightning. I'm going to target this one to destroy.
Well, you got it.
Good. And I'm going to discard Kaki, Gorilla of Dark World.
That'll get the...
Which will activate his effect and pop that one.
Yep, that'll get the crow. So you're getting both of them regardless.
Right. Let's see. I'm going to set a card, and I will pass the turn.
Stand by main. I am going to kill the beige.
I'm going to respond with Dark Deal.
That's not good.
And I'll shuffle my hand. Go ahead and make your roll.
That one.
You poor son of a bitch.
Well, you get it.
Unfortunately, I don't get... Unfortunately, you have nothing for me to pop, but I at least get him on the field. Oh, and I actually get to draw a card, too, because he was in the graveyard.
You do.
Forgot about that.
I'm just gonna set all the things. Go.
Alright. Draw. Standby. Main. Okay, so let me try to remember. You've got Accumulated Fortune, Frozen Soul, and Chain Detonation. So that means the only thing you could... So if 2 Frozen Soul, a Detonation, and a Fortune. So I think I actually have game here. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? Just as much as I don't want... I really want to play 1 card to hedge my bet, but at the same time, I also have a feeling that if I do that, then you might have something that I messed up on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice beige to run out my Silva.
Sure.
Alright, I'm going to go into battle. So you have Stealth Bird. So that means Bronze should be able to clear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, you got it.
Correct. The other card in my hand at the time was Heavy Storm. So I was like, maybe he might have something else that I'm not remembering correctly. And if he chains up to Accumulated Fortune, then that potentially puts me at risk. But
boy, I just could not quite get there.
Dude, I'm honestly shocked as hell that I came back and won that, because real talk, I had nothing in my side deck to deal with this deck. I had nothing. I straight up sided expecting you to run either 6 Samurai or the Heroes again. So I had a side deck heavily built for that. And as soon as you flipped up Dusk Koala, I was like, oh, I've got nothing for this.
So the way I built my side deck was I built my main deck to try to beat Hero, and then because Hero doesn't have a ton of interaction for this deck outside of Our Righteous Justice, which I can chain most of my stuff to anyway, and then I had a sideboard plan for this deck. I had one for 6 Sam, I had one for... the Smashing Grounds actually came in because I thought you would be on Wombat.
Fair.
So, how are your Strike of Neos pulls?
Honestly, they were kind of decent, but not amazing. Like, I don't remember if you saw this, but I hit a Dark World Dealings. I hit the 3 Warwolf. Oh, good lord. 3... Okay, you told me about the 3 Air Neos. But damn, 2 Grand Neos and a Glow Neos. I got 1 Grand Neos and 1 Glow Neos. And then I ended up with one of the Skyscraper 2 Hero City, and that was pretty much it. Like, I hit 7 holos altogether, not counting the ultimate rares that were rares. But, I mean, it was okay, but definitely wasn't as explosive as I would have liked.
I figured there would be a good chance you were on Dark World because there was a lot of new Dark World support, so I came prepared for that with the DD Crows. Yeah, I got 3 DD Crows, one of them was an ulti.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, unfortunately for me, I did not pull a single one.
One of the Grand Neos was ulti, one of the Air Neos was ulti too.
Man, imagine if that were real life. You'd have a damn mint on your hand for that.
Little bit. So out of all the stuff, see, the big problem with me playing this deck is I did not have playsets of every fog. Back in Flaming Eternity, I only opened 2 Threatening Roars.
Oh, yeah, that's a slight hassle then.
That's why I was on the Frozen Souls specifically, is because I needed enough fogs, and it's the worst fog in the deck, and I just drew it too late.
Right.
But that's not the real reason that I was on this deck, and I was really hoping to spring this on you just by complete surprise, but I never had an opportunity to do so. But there was a very silly card that I picked up in Dark Beginning 2 that influenced my decision to play this deck.
Oh my fucking god, you got it this time!
Yup.
Oh man, I love this card. Like, it's so bullshit, but I love it.
In this deck in particular, it's if you have this in a fog, it's just a draw 5 that recycles everything. What more can you ask for in a deck like this?
Oh, definitely. That's oh man, that's gonna be something to really pay attention to and worry about now.
I never saw this card. All three games, I wanted to get Cyberjar instead, because I didn't have enough resources to shuffle back, and I also didn't want to give you a whole new hand either. Whereas the Cyberjar kind of forces you to commit, and I can use the cards first.
Right.
But this is effectively Cyberjar number 2 since I don't have Morphing Jar. But this is the primary reason why I decided to play this deck is because I got this card, and I would not be terribly surprised if this card were not in our format for very long.
I was gonna say, yeah, like, we didn't see it here, but there is definitely a good chance that this may end up a pain in the ass to the point of getting banned later down the road. But good games, though. Like, that ended up definitely a lot tighter of a match than I thought it would be.
I had 1,300 points of burn. I just could not get there.
Right.
Because if you had attacked in a different order, I could have used poison to actually have enough life points to survive, but it didn't matter because I still had one more turn of Reckless, unfortunately. Another reason why I chose to play this deck is because Reckless got semi-limited with this list.
And I'm pretty sure sometime soon, I think it goes back to 3 at some point soon, doesn't it?
It does, but with Chain Strike at 1, we're not going to be able to play this deck again until we get something like... See, what really makes this deck go is stuff like Card of Demise.
Yeah. True, because then you can actually get cards back, and then there are ways to pull back Chain Strike afterwards too.
Card of Demise really makes this deck go, and then just the other pot cards in general, but we won't have easy access to those, so I don't think you're going to be seeing this deck again anytime soon. Especially with Chain Strike being at 1 for almost the rest of time. It gets put to 2 a couple of times, but then just immediately gets put back to 1.
Yeah, because Konami figures out, oh, hey, this anti-meta strat still works with 2 copies. We can't allow that.
I don't even know so much if this is anti-meta. I was a little bit torn when I built the deck about whether I wanted to go for just fogs or also try to play a few continuous floodgates, but clogging up zones is a big issue for this deck. Even having one zone occupied by a floodgate is a big issue. Alright, I guess I'll go ahead and head over to the loser circle again.
Let's be honest, then with the next set, because the next set's what? Is it Force of the Breaker?
It is Force of the Breaker, yes.
That one might end up making a difference depending on what we end up hitting, so...
Yep.
Never know.
Well, we'll see how things go. I can't believe I lost another week, especially with this. I figured this would throw Demon for a loop, not having played a burn deck in almost an entire arc's worth of duels, but this is where we find ourselves, back in the loser circle, and the record overall for the series is even again. So this is one of my last chances I'm going to have for Dark Beginning 2. I believe this is the last chance. And then from there, this wheel really isn't worth it anymore, so I'm going to be gunning for those reprint set packs. I don't mind the champion packs either. Just anything but side sets is what I'll take. Stop! Sick, that's exactly what I wanted. 3 more packs of Dark Beginning 2, here we go. Alright, so we have 3 last packs of Dark Beginning 2, and we also get 5 of the McDonald's Season 2 promo packs after this. They aren't going to be terribly relevant cards, but there are a couple of things that I am after out of that pack, mostly at the rare slot. But we have 3 exciting packs to go first. Here's our first one. Oh, we got an Exiled Force! That's one of the things I was really looking for. 7 Tools of the Bandit is really nice, too. That's a piece of Trap Negation that we already had a copy of, but now we have a second one. We got a Book of Moon as well, which that is our second one of those. Book of Moon does get limited. That's our 3rd copy of Book of Tayo, but that Exiled Force is really big, and we have a reinforcement of the army, too. I'm really liking playing 6 Samurai next week. That 2nd copy of Defusion is really nice for the hero deck as well, because then we can use that as an extender. There's just all kinds of great things we can do, and that's just the first pack. That's super sweet. So let's go ahead and move on to our second pack. We got a Royal Oppression, a Marauding Captain! Marauding Captain for Warriors, that is so good! Wow! That is one of the greatest rares we could have gotten. And that Royal Oppression, that gives us our 3rd. It does get limited, though. We did also get Asura Priest, which is our first one of those, but I think it's a little bit dated at this point. What about Birdface? We did get our 3rd one of those, so that will put the Harpy mechanics online once we get more support for them. How many bad reactions do we have? We have a playset of those. And then Green Kappa is an interesting one. So this, when it flips, destroys 2 set Speller Trap cards. This is something that we might wind up putting in against the control decks. But overall, these have been 2 stellar packs. We already have all the Fusion Sages. And then we have 1 more pack. See if we can get a banger in the close. What do we have? We got a Horn of Heaven. Another Gemini Elf. This pack is not great, but I will take it. We got a Marauding Captain. We got an Exile Force. We have a solid Warrior Core. And then next we have 5 of the McDonald's Series 2 promo packs. These are only 3 cards apiece, and the cards in them are not great, so I don't have high expectations, but there is one particular card I am looking for. And we get 5 of these. That is not any of them. Then our second pack has none of the cards we are looking for either. That's not what we're looking for either. Then our 4th pack does not have anything we are looking for either. Let's see if we can pick up the card we are looking for. And no dice. So that's about what I expected. But our next set's fairly exciting. It's Force of the Breaker, which I will be able to tell you about next time on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression Series. Join us for Force of the Breaker. Until then, see you around.